Hi Cancer, this is going to be your ex-partner reading for November 2018. As usual, I'm using the 2-row spread. This side will be for you and this side will be for your ex, but please remember it can go vice versa. I'm using the Rider-Waite deck this time, and for the central issue I've decided to use the Psychic Tarot deck by John Holland. So Cancer, the card that you have here at the centre, it is number 5 and it's emotional loss. And I guess this card is quite similar really to the 5 of Cups. And you know, the thing I just want to point out that in this deck, as well as alongside the Rider-Waite, this emotional loss card comes after the card of discontent and boredom. You know, and it often makes me think really that, you know, are we or were we in a relationship where maybe we did feel this discontentment, maybe there was this boredom, okay? All relationships go through those stages. And I think sometimes we can be very quick, maybe a bit too hasty to kind of throw in the towel and end a relationship purely based on those feelings, when really the relationship was a good relationship whereby, you know, overall we got along with each other, but it was about putting effort into the relationship, trying to keep that spark there. And not everybody, of course, but a lot of times you'll find people will, you know, it almost feels like they take the easier option by ending the relationship rather than trying to put some hard work and effort into saving it. So this emotional loss card, I'll just read you a little bit about it from the book. It says the number 5 emotions card comes forth at a time when you may be experiencing or grieving a loss of someone or something you were emotionally attached to. Honour your feelings. Only by healing and loving yourself, by letting go of the past, can you continue your journey. So, you know, yes, you've got to go through a healing stage, okay, when a relationship breaks up. But, you know, for me, I think you've also got to kind of work out whether, you know, can the relationship be saved? You know, what were my main reasons for ending this relationship or the other person ending it? You know, so in that healing process, needing to, I think, reflect as to whether you wish to continue your journey on your own. Now, the first card you have up the top here, not surprisingly, is the 4 of Swords. And, you know, there are these 3 swords here together. And the 3 of Swords, as we know, talks about heartbreak and sadness. And this 4 of Swords comes after the 3 of Swords, obviously. So, you know, Cancer, this card is about taking a time out, okay? Needing to rest, okay? Feeling, maybe going through a grieving process. Maybe feeling that emotional loss, but needing to take a time out. It can as well talk about no communication taking place between you and your ex. Because at this moment in time, as I said, you're going through a much needed healing process. Now, on their side, they have the 7 of Wands. And if you look here, this man, he's up here on this higher ground and he's trying to maintain that position. He's feeling challenged. Now, it could be that your ex is feeling challenged by you, okay? Maybe you blame them for the breakup. Maybe it was them that ended the relationship. But it could be that they may be feeling challenged by other people, you know, maybe family members or joint friendships that you had, you know, other people challenging them, especially if it was their fault that the relationship broke up. But, you know, the Seven of Wands is about them feeling the need to stand up for themselves and maybe speak up here, okay? Now, in terms of what you're both thinking and feeling or actions to be taken, you have here the Seven of Swords. Now, the Seven of Swords, it can be sneaky energy. It can talk about an element of deceit, okay? I don't feel, if I'm honest, that this reading or this situation is talking about a third party. But the Seven of Swords also can be a card of, you know, it can be a card of sneaking away. Maybe that's how your ex-partner ended this relationship, if it was them that ended it. You know, maybe they didn't, you know, that maybe you feel you haven't had the closure, okay? Maybe, you know, they just ended the relationship abruptly and you feel that you haven't had that closure. Because the Swords is to do with our thoughts and our communication. So when we get the Seven of Swords, it's very much talking about somebody that is not communicating something, or somebody is thinking of doing something and is not telling the other person. Now, again, I don't feel this is you, Cancer. I feel this is what you may be thinking about your ex. Now, on their side, they have the Ten of Pentacles. Now, for me, this card, you know, generally talks about family, extended members of our family. It can talk about joint finances and, you know, maybe a joint home. So, you know, is it on their side because that's what you two had when you were together? Is it on their side because that's where they thought this relationship was heading? And maybe it ended before that you got to that stage. But is it there on their side because that's what they're truly wanting and truly hoping for? Now, moving down, you've got two cards here at the bottom. You've got the Two of Pentacles. And you've got the Chariot. Now, the two of Pentacles is juggling, okay? Now, for me, the Two of Pentacles, yes, of course it can be juggling our finances. But it could also be juggling with a decision, okay? And then we have the Chariot that is the Victory card in the major, but is a card about forward movement. And the Chariot is your card, Cancer. But it's about forward movement here. You know, the dark side, the light side, the head and heart both being on the same page here. You know, I think what you're wanting is forward movement. But you're juggling here with this decision because I think because you're going through a healing process, and because I think you're still feeling that emotional loss, you may not be at that stage yet whereby you're able to move on completely. But some of you also may be feeling, maybe juggling with this decision in terms of, should we get back together, or, you know, should you move on completely? Now, on their side, they're kind of going through a similar thing. Now, you've got the Four of Swords. They've got the Three of Swords. So, as I said, the Three of Swords, it is heartbreak. It's sadness. So, both of you are feeling this way, Cancer. It's not just you. And the other card they got is the Two of Swords. Now, the Two of Swords, when we get the Two of Swords, we've come from the Ace of Swords. So we know the truth, okay? But we've got this blindfold on because, again, a decision has to be made. And we've got to pick a direction here. But it's difficult, you know, and it can be that feeling sometimes of being between a rock and a hard place. We don't know which way to go. Now, I feel that when we're talking about making a decision here, it's sometimes best not to make that decision while we are still going through that grieving process, because that is going to cloud our judgment. So I think for both of you here, it may be good to be apart for a while. It may be good to not have so much communication between you both, because both of you still need to go through that healing process. And I think once you both come out the other side of it, you'll both be thinking more clearly. Now, the card at the bottom of the deck is the Three of Wands. Now, the thing with the Three of Wands is, again, we've come from that Two of Wands, which is being at a crossroads. And then we get to that Three of Wands where we've made our decision, okay? And now we're waiting to see the results. Now, I feel that this Three of Wands is here to say that, you know, at some stage, as I said, after maybe having to go through this grieving process, that either one of you or both of you, but me personally, I feel both of you are going to come to this, you're going to come to a decision about what it is that you truly want. And I do feel that, and please keep in mind, it is a general reading, but I do feel that at the end of this process you're both going through, you're both going to come to the decision that, you know, you do want to be together. Now, obviously, that's not going to be for every Cancer out there, okay? And it may be that this doesn't take place for, you know, a month, 2 months, 6 months. You know, there's no real time when it comes to tarot. So, but for me, there is a process that you both have to go through before you are going to be in the right frame of mind to make a decision. Okay, Cancer, that is your reading. Thank you so much and take care. Bye.